Hi, it's Sue. Welcome back to my channel today. No project, just a share. I said I'd do a quick flip through of my junk journal January, so I've got it here ready to go. I've got it here along with 4 others. I think I've done 2 Julys and this is my 3rd January. So they're all here. 2 of them prior to this one are concertinas. Then I did a ring bound journal that I did that way as opposed to that way. So that was a July one. And then I think this was my the last one, which would have been July. I think this was when we were on our trip that I was doing pages in this. They are all a similar size. I thought this one, my latest, was quite chunky, but this one is too, which was my first one. So yeah, I've got, that's a January, 2 Januaries, that's a July, and I believe that this one is a July. I'll check that afterwards. So this is my completed journal for January. And as you can see, eventually I tied it with some sari silk. In fact, it's the same sari silk that I've used on these others. The original colour is this colour. But that is the original colour of the sari silk, and I've dyed it. I've dyed this one a greeny colour, and this one I've dyed a pinky colour because a lot of this journal is pink. So yeah, January is all over, and before I start flipping through the journal, I just want to say thank you so much to all those people who have followed along with me. My regulars who always leave me lovely comments, I am grateful to you girls, really. And I'm saying girls because they are girls. Also, I've got a lot of new subscribers to my channel during January, and I'm hoping you'll stick with me. My posting schedule may change a little, but I've got a few things lined up, so I hope you'll stick around. But I am grateful, as I say, I'm grateful that you take the time to spend on my channel. For these projects, I try and keep my videos to about half an hour. So we'll see in future how we go with that. So right, this is the journal, closed and tied, and you notice it stands reasonably well. It doesn't matter how you stand it, it does stand well, this journal. That's one of the things I like about the concertina journals. So we'll take the tie off, and I just used a couple of pieces of thicker card for the front and the back, and I've just collaged bits of paper. It's like I need to get the glue out there. Some of it design paper, like pattern paper, scrapbook paper. Some of it book pages, you know, or images from books. So that's how I covered the front and the back. And then when you open up, and we'll start at the front, at a pocket in the front, and that's where I've kept my prompt list. So I'm going to keep that out ready so that I can see what I'm doing here. All right, so prompt number 1 was resolutions, and I started off with my painted papers, and this is some of my painted paper over card, and this was actually a seal that arrived on something I bought from Etsy, and I've kept it thinking, oh, I will use that, and I've used it at the very beginning of this journal. And my prompt says, every year you make a resolution to change yourself. This year, make a resolution to be yourself. And for me, that was very apt. You know, I'm always trying to, you know what it's like, lose weight, exercise more. I need to do that, and you know, all those things. Instead, you know, what I am at my age. I'm lucky to be here. I know that sounds weird, but I've lost a few friends, and I've had a few friends struggling with ill health. So yes, I consider myself very lucky. Right, so that was number 1. Number 2 was quote. And again, I've kept, most of my pages are single pages. And for quote, I've put a pocket here. And the quote is, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. Okay, so I don't know, is that a bit of a contradiction to my first one? Don't know. I thought that after the event. But again, painty papers. This is digital, just bits and bobs there. Number 3 was throwback. And what I did, I picked a page from one of my last journals and remade it slightly differently. So what I've done is I've made a flip, and the flip is actually one of those fancy paper bags. And in there I've got a journal card, and the quote is, fate doesn't decide, you do. Okay, so that just sits in that pocket. This is book page, just painted papers, same here. Some journaling space here too. So that was number 3. Number 4 was tuck spot. And for this, quite a lot of people like this page. It wasn't one of my favourites, but you know, we're all different. I like the colours. I like that it's bright and cheery. And I've used some of my, this was actually a stamp onto some painted paper, which is what we've got here. This is stuff I've done on the jelly plate, I'd say. And I've added lace and some silk and some netting there. And under there I've got a little envelope with some journaling paper inside. When nothing is sure, everything is possible. It's the quote on that one. And this was an image from Meg, of Meg's journals, in one of the previous junk journal prompts. I generally use their papers somewhere. This was just a Project Life card that the colours went, so I popped that in there for more journaling space. So that was number 4. Number 5 was daily log. And I used to keep a journal for, you know, a daily journal of events and so on. But to be honest with you, my days are pretty similar. There's only the 2 of us, and we spend our time around home mostly. Since COVID, we haven't done a lot in the way of travel. We did go away for a few months last year, which was nice. We took the caravan off. But other than that, you know, a daily log for me would be dead boring. But I picked a day here where I'd got things happening. I'd got a hairdresser's appointment. I met somebody in the afternoon. We had tea together, and then Ian and I went out for dinner. So fill your paper with the breathings of your heart. That was the quote for that page. That's book page. I've used one of my doodles. That's book page, as is that. And that is a sticker. Okay, number 5. Number 6 was memory. And for number 6, I've got this little piece here, which is just a die cut. A memory is a photo taken by the heart. Okay, and if you flick that round, the camera flips down, and that is journaling space. And I don't know whether you can see in there. This is a picture of me. You probably can't see that very clearly, but that is me, and that is the little lamb that we hand reared. And that was taken probably about 6 o'clock in the morning. Got her up. She lived in the annex during the day. Until we could get her back into the paddock. And she stayed up around the house during the day. But that was me feeding time, 6 in the morning. So that was a memory, and I will eventually write about that. Because she's still with us. She's a bit of a loner. She didn't have any young this year. We'll see if she does next year. She does keep herself to herself over in the paddocks. Okay, number 7 was stitched. And what I've done here, this is fabric, and I've stitched this piece around before adding it to the page. And this is one of my painted pages. And there's some stitching on here, top and bottom too. That's a flip, it's attached to book page. Flip it over, journaling space here. And I've got a fabric pocket with more stitching, slow stitching. And up here too, for the prompt. And the quote is, dance like no one is watching. Love like you've never been hurt. Sing like no one is listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. I like that quote. Most people know the first line of that quote, but that is the full quote, I believe. Okay, that just sits in there. And that's a page, again, that I've painted. And this is using watercolour paints. All right, moving on. Was that 7? Yeah, 7. So 8 was neutral, and this is a double page spread. And I've basically completed one side as a, just as a collage, really. I haven't done a lot of proper collaging in this book, but that was a collage page. And here I have torn a piece of scrapbook paper. It's from a 6x6 pad to make a pocket. And inside that pocket is a little envelope with a piece of paper inside for journaling. Okay, so that just pops in there. And that was 8. Number 9 is here. Number 9 was foliage. And I've got this little image of a wreath of leaves. And I'm hoping to be able to manage some watercolour like this. I've been following a couple of tutorials, so watch this space. I'm not ready to share yet, but that was a flip up with a little pocket, and inside it says, art is the flower, life the green leaf. That sits there, and this is just a basic collage page. After saying I didn't do a lot of collaging, I mean, that was like your standard collage. This was just bits and pieces and painting to cover the page there. And there are leaves there. This is all botanical, and there too. Number 10 is layered, and for mine I have layered fabric and some laces. What else is there? Yeah, fabric and lace with a little piece, hexagonal piece on the top. One of my little hexes that I've stitched on, and I've used that as a tuck spot. So I put the fabric onto card, and I've glued the card to the page, and the page is an image from a book. Okay, And within that tuck spot, I've added this little card for journaling. Okay, so that was 10. 11 was eclectic. And what I've done there is I've covered the page, which was a collage page, with scraps. A colour swatch is down this side with some Asian writing book page, and I've just painted the swatch colours to match the page, and I've got a sticker on here, and these are obviously map book. That is one of my jelly plate prints. Some book page. It's from a German book. This is more jelly prints, as is the bottom piece. Okay, and I've added the dictionary definition for eclectic. This is one of the fussy cut flowers that I've used here. And this page here, this doesn't feel like that long ago actually. This was number 12, which was torn edges. And I've got that's really for the next page, so we'll take that off for now. That's a covered paper clip. So what I've done is I have created 2 pockets using torn book pages. This is a torn book page, and over that I've got some napkin, and that napkin is actually waxed, as is the what's that? Dragonfly. So that was one pocket, and inside that pocket I've got one of my arty tags that's painted with acrylics, and I think I've used for that flower, I think I used my gelatos. So that just sits in there. And the second pocket, which is made from a piece of, I take that out, you might see it more. That is more of my gel print over a book page. And inside that one, I have this larger piece that is just collage using scraps from this side and some of my mark making papers, and again fussy cut flowers, and that just sits in that back pocket. Okay, and if we turn it over, this is page 13, which was garden, and I've used, this confused some people, what I did for this page, I have this picture, which is from a book. It's watercolour of some flowers in a garden. And I've used scrap papers here, torn and attached to the page to form, well, my idea was it was supposed to be a window. And I could have done, split it in quarters, but I really wanted it as a full window so that you would see that image. But it could just as easily be a picture frame, you know. But I quite like that idea, and I will do some more of this, probably slightly larger, and add the centerpieces. That was inspired by Lee of Lee Creates. And then what I've done is I've done another swatch card here with watercolour paints, and that's just pulling up the colours in here. This piece, yes, I wasn't happy with this piece. To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow. I can read that, you probably can't. It would have been better written onto plain paper, but you know, I didn't. So that was number 18, garden. Number 19 was pattern. And for this piece, I made some pattern paper here. And this uses paste. They're called paste papers, and it literally uses a paste mixture. I quite enjoyed that. It's a bit different. It has a definite feel about it. It feels, you can hear it's a bit scratchy. Just over ordinary paper. And I had added colour to the paper. So it's a gel printed paper, and I've got this pattern through, and then I've added the paste. And it makes for quite a nice piece. I want to do more of that too. I quite like it. And then over that I have stamped an image. This is a stamped image. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. And that was from a stamp set by Darkroom Door. And to the corners, I've just added some pretty sprinkles to match in with the background. So that was 14. 15 was opposites. And what I've done is I've used some pansies opposite each other onto a piece of, actually it's onto a piece of 6x6 design paper, which is polka dots. But if you look really closely, and you probably can't see that, those polka dots are made up of text, tiny, tiny text. And what I did for this page, I added a piece of vellum across the middle, diagonally, that I stamped this word, beautiful. And the the pansies, just sit over the vellum. Okay, so this part of them is attached to the scrapbook paper, but the very front on each is onto that vellum. Okay, and that made a pocket, and in that pocket is this pretty little journal card, using more pansies, yes, a couple of labels and a butterfly with room to journal on the back. So that was number 15, opposites. 16 is flow, and I've made a pocket here that has as yet not been filled. And what I've done is I coloured some paper with yellow all over, and then stamped this image, which is a Tim Holtz image, in a brown, and I've stamped that over the yellow, and you can see the yellow through in parts, but I love the look it gave. And it's over book page with a bit of, actually it's not all book page, it's one of my painted envelopes that I have used as a pocket, and they were made on the gel plate, and I've just added a bit of gel plated pattern paper there, some book page, some more of the gel print here, and I've said go with the flow. So that was 16, and as I say, at the moment there's nothing in the pocket. But that was the end of the first side. So then my journal flips over, and we start with 17, which was whimsical. And I've done these whimsical flowers with a butterfly, and actually it's a double butterfly. One piece is cut from my gel printed deli paper, and the underside is just black cardstock, and these were watercolour paintings onto watercolour card, which forms the pocket, and in that pocket I've got this pretty little tag with a fairy, which is pretty whimsical, another butterfly there, room for journaling. Okay, and that's more of my painty paper. As I say, this book is mostly painted papers and book page. Okay, 18 was borders. And what I've done on this page, I have a pocket here. If I move that out, you can see. This is a pocket. It has a very fancy border attached to the side. It also has a painted border of dots down this side. And it has a paper ruffle as a border down this side. Again, over my painted papers, another of the butterflies, and some of my hand-painted flowers. The journal is another hand-painted flower over a piece of ephemera that has borders, fancy borders on it, the number 18, and space for journaling. And that just slots in that pocket. So then we go to 19, which was peeking out. And this one is a double page spread. And what I did was I took this image, which is, can't remember if this was from a book or a digital, can't remember. And I've added this. If you need me, I'll be inside until April. And that was made when I was listening to you girls talk about the amount of snow you were having to deal with. And I thought that was just appropriate, that page. On this page, I collaged a circle, added this bird as a focal point, and that is a tuck spot for my journal card. My journal card is again another of my painted flowers, naive painted flowers over a collaged, it's a Project Life card. But if you look down here, I don't know whether you can see that, that's a little pot and a hedgehog, start that again, a hedgehog is peeking over the top of the pot. So I just leave that in there like that, so that you can see him peeking out. So that was 21, did I say? Yeah, 21. 22 is bookshelf, and where did I put that? Hang on, let me get this right. 21, yeah, I skipped a page. Here's 22, book page, and I've used an image of some books, used washi tape to make a shelf, and it's over, I've collaged behind all sorts of different book pages. Okay, and that is 22 book page, bookshelf, sorry. 22, 23 is texture. I think this is another, just give me a sec. Yeah, this is 19. I've obviously missed one. I've skipped pages here. 18. This was 19, which was interactive. I beg your pardon. Interactive. So I've made a flip up with a pocket. Pockets are interactive. Decorated with die cuts, butterflies, my initial stamp, and inside a little journal card. Again, using one of my pieces. Underneath you've got space for more journaling. That piece was Project Life card. More journaling here, and this is a page from a botanical book, and I thought that would be a good page for colouring, which again is interactive. You can colour this page one day when I'm feeling in the mood. I will sit and colour that. Okay, 19, then we go to 20, which was nature, and this was where my clip was. Okay, so for nature, I've got this page, which is collage with some Edith Holden piano page, and it's over a music score page. But this is the main piece, and it's this way round. this is like a hidden card, and that is a lily on the front. It's book page. And as you can see on the back, that's a bit more at the lily. I've got some bugs and a stamped bee. Bit of tissue paper ruffle there. But yeah, as I say, this is like a hidden journal spot. And in there is this little mouse, little field mouse, again, which could be coloured. Room on the back for journaling. And that just slots into that pocket. Okay, and I've left that just clipped to the page using a covered paper clip. Okay. 22 was bookshelf. 23 was texture. And for texture, I've used some fabric, some lovely frayed cotton fabric here with a picture over. And to the side here, I've got layers of piano roll. There's a bit of organza and some netting. And it all sits over a piece of stamped paper that has been embossed with Swiss dots. So that is quite textural too. And to the side of that page, I added another paper frill. And this is made up of brown packing paper. Okay. Then we move on. Did I say that was 23? Okay, we're back on track. 24 was fabric, and this was quite a popular page. I like that the frill brings in this colour, which is my pocket. And attached to the pocket, I have a piece of fabric that has a rub-on added over the top of it. And I've just added that with a pin there, and there's a few beads on the pin. The page is made up of fabric pieces, patchwork style, and they are all stitched on. So there is stitching there over the fabric. And I actually stitched on the label. Excuse me. And in the pocket is a little journaling card, one of mine. It's got my initial on. And that's odds and scraps of my mark making paper, gel print. This is hand-drawn bits, stamped fabric here, and this was just a little, it was a little on something I bought from the op shop, 4 for 50. I think they were those hanging folders for a filing cabinet. And I've just stamped a little flower on the front there. Okay, and that slots into that pocket. 25 is ombre. Again, another quite popular page, this one. I think it was the colours. And yeah, I was happy with that. I said it looked a bit like one of the cards that I used to make. But I was happy with how that turned out. I used watercolours over some watercolour paper that I taped off to give a cream border, and then just use that paint all the way down to give the ombre effect, and did the same on this piece of cardstock, and then used the die to cut that out. This is also a die, that is a poppy, and this is a bit of design paper, like scrapbook paper from a 6x6. Okay, 26 was translucent, and I played with adding this picture to a piece of tracing paper that I then sandwiched between this paper, and this is like plastic. It's the kind of plastic that Apple use to wrap up new computers, and you know, in the box you get this wrapped around the keyboard, that kind of thing. And I've put that in there. And really, that to me is translucent. You know, it is a bit filmy. And I've snipped it so it sits into this pocket. The background, I created 2 pockets and added a bit of ephemera in one. This is a very French page, this one. French text. And the music paper is Mademoiselle from Armity's French song. I've stuck a couple of tags in there and just done a bit of stamping across the music page. So that was translucent, 26. 27 was lyrics, and I've taken that literally, and I've used the lyrics from a Leonard Cohen song. It's called Anthem. And the lyrics I've picked are, there is a crack in everything. That's where the light gets in. Okay, and that is over this new to me paper that I bought that is called Cicada Leather Look paper. It's interesting paper. It's quite stiff. It's stiffer than tracing paper. Not tracing paper, tissue paper. It's nice. I'm going to play a bit more with that. So that was 27. 28 was grungy, and I did a double page spread here. Bit of collaging, mushrooms play a part on this page. As you can see, this is another of my gel printed envelopes that I have made into a top loading pocket with more of my gel printing, a bit of book page and another mushroom with a specimen label, and that just slides into the pocket there. And this pocket was just added to my double page spread as a flip. Journaling space here, and I literally just decorated this page with stenciling and added the mushrooms on there. So then we moved on. 20, that was 28, wasn't it? Yeah, 28 was grungy, 29 was geometric. And for this, I've used geometric patterned gel prints, some of my painted papers. These are geometric shapes, and I've used some die cut flowers over that. It's more of my gel plate printing. So that's a journal card in there. It's more jelly prints. So that was 29. That took us up to 30, which was travel. And I've done another double page spread. On one page, I've used this stamped piece, which is, you know, the pocket with all the slits. And I've added some paper in the back for journaling and a whole lot of digital tickets in the pockets. And over on this side, I've created a double pocket or 2 pockets with vellum over the original painted papers. So when you take the pictures out, that's what you see underneath. Okay, and these were just pictures from a photo album that I purchased, and they are they were obviously bought like postcard style to go onto it was somebody's European trip, I'd say. And they slot into that page. So that brought us up to the last page, which is this one. And this one would have been better with more layers, I think. But I was literally just using up what was left of my painted papers to make this heart that opens up as you open the page. And painted papers and book page, which played a big part in January's journal. And here I've just added life is art, live it in colour. along the bottom. So that was 31, reflect. And really that page was me reflecting on what had come before in the journal. As I say, mostly my either jelly printed papers or my hand painted papers. And I do lots of circles, you might have noticed. My life feels like I go round in circles sometimes. Anyway, so yeah, that was this last page and book page over there. So that brought us back to the very front. And that was it. That was me for January. Now, what's to come? Well, I think I might take a couple of days off. It's been a bit full on, this one. And I think because our weather has been so warm, hang on, how did I do this? I think I started at the top. So I want the bow beneath the book plate. See what I mean? Yeah, because it's been so hot and humid, really, it's the humidity that's really finishing me off. I found it a struggle working upstairs. I mean, I've had air conditioning going full bore, let me tell you, and a fan often. You know, if it was not one, it was the other, or both. And at one point, I didn't think I would finish this. I just thought, oh, gosh, this is too hard. But I'm glad to say I got through it. But I think I will take a couple of days and tidy up this bow. And I've got to put my prompt card back in. Yeah, a couple of days just to tidy up my craft room. I still have bits and bobs left in my basket, so I need to sort all that out. And this will go on the shelf with my other junk journals for July and January. And then I will be back. And I have already started on an altered book, so I guess there'll be some of that. But what else? I'm not too sure at the moment. I've got a couple of ideas, but we'll see where we go. All right. Thank you so much, and thank you again, everybody, for your lovely comments and for cheering me along on this journey. It wouldn't be the same without you visiting, so I am grateful. I hope you'll stick around, and I'll see you very shortly, hopefully. Okay, take care now. Bye.